Tires on green this time. Remember, they fan out down there, so protect that bottom. Sunday drive. All right, Rossman. Hey, starts off. Be ready. Bud, be ready. Gas that bitch up. Ready. Green flag. Green.
Welcome, everybody, to the Inside Pass. It is Monday night if you're watching us or listening to us live on PMN and Race Chaser Online. I'm Randy Miller. Tom Baker sitting to my left, and the two new boys in town. Well, I guess Peter was here last week, but Noah was not. But Noah's here this week because he won last week, so he figured he'd grace us with his presence because, you know, he has a chance to win twice, I guess, in
That's
2
right.
weeks. So
Peter Strada and Noah Lewis.
yes, TSJ 101 is
Yes.
where they call themselves home. But
High Point Hustlers.
on Monday
That's
night,
right.
they call this home because this is their home now.
Yes.
So
We are family.
right, we will get into our heated discussion as we normally do in just a little bit. We are going to first, though, go to the strutmasters.com hotline and bring on our guest for the evening, a driver of, as Tom likes to say, the number nothing. Well, I guess Garrett Smith
Well, I
is
was going to
starting
say that. Yeah, we got to give credit
You
to
just
Garrett
took it.
Smithley. I just used to tease Garrett about it.
Right. It sounds much easier. It's much better to say
You
nothing.
drive nothing, and then he would laugh.
Yes, but Jeffrey Earnhardt drives something. He
Yes,
drives a
we
number
don't wanna-
0 car for
We don't
JD
know
Motorsports.
Jeffrey, so we don't want to tease him right out of the gate here. You see.
Yeah, he has 12 minutes before he says I'm done with the
Yeah.
show. Jeffrey, welcome to the Inside Pass, sir. Thank you so much for taking some time out to join us tonight.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all having me on.
So the number 0, we'll say it's the number 0 car for JD Motorsports this year, full time. As Peter told us before we came on the air, for the first time since 2014, running a full season. So tell us a little bit about how this. I know you drove for them a little bit last year, but tell us how the whole full time thing came about and how excited you are to be in Daytona in about 4 weeks or so.
Yeah, back in 2014, I got the opportunity to drive for Johnny, and then last year was supposed to only run a limited schedule and end up running the majority of the season for them. So, they had expressed, that they would like me to drive again for them this coming year. And, obviously, I love everyone at JD Motorsports, Johnny Davis, Gary Keller, all the crew guys. I mean, they're just good guys, good hardworking guys, but, bust their butts to do the best they can every weekend. And, we were able to have some pretty decent runs last year. Could have had some really, really solid runs, had some things went our way on a few races, but, overall, I feel like we really, did a pretty good job, as a whole, last year. So, they asked if I would be willing to come back and do a full season. And, the opportunity to race a full season doesn't come around very, very often, or very easy, I guess I should say. So, to be able to, be offered an opportunity like this is, obviously a driver's dream come true. And, to be able to do it with these guys who, have stuck their necks out for me and given me opportunities, on several occasions, I would definitely felt honored to be able to be asked back. So, but yeah, looking forward to Daytona, man. It seems like it's been over a year since we've been on the track. It seems like it's been forever. I don't know why, but this has just been an awful long feeling off season. But really excited to get back to Daytona, get back behind the wheel and get back racing. It kills you whenever you got to be away. So I can't wait to get back.
What do you think? What do you expect in 2021? I mean, obviously, Jeffrey, 2020 was, it was sort of the season bizarro, or theater absurdo, however you want to. I mean, all the changes and the modifications y'all had to make, no qualifying, draw for spots, racetracks 2-3 more times than you were supposed to. Now that you've kind of been through that, and some of that has been retained for 21, but mostly we're kind of back to business as usual. What are you expecting the racing to be at Daytona? And especially, tell us about what you expect from the season, at large here, because obviously a very different group in some ways in Xfinity to compete against than what you had last year with a few of the guys moving up.
Yeah, I think as a sport and an organization, I feel like NASCAR as a whole did a phenomenal job last year getting back to competing as quick as we did, and putting the whole season, if you will, even though we didn't go to a lot of tracks that we normally would have, putting all that together, they did a phenomenal job and really showed that we're capable of working with whatever we have to in such a crazy time. And I think this year, obviously there's still a lot of craziness in this world that we're having to work around, and I think we're just gonna be even more prepared and planned out for this cone season. I think being able to prove what we did last year just showed that with a little bit of time to plan it, we'll be able to knock this thing out of the park. And I don't foresee our season being too much of a crazy mess unless something crazy happens to mess up our schedule. But I think the schedule one is awesome. There's some new tracks, some tracks that we ran on for the first time last year that we're going back to. So there's a lot of excitement behind the schedule. But I think as an organization, I think NASCAR is going to do a phenomenal job, just as they did this past year, and making it all happen. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed showing up and seeing how the guys in the shop did preparing your car. That was one of the bigger parts to our race weekends last year was the guys' preparation before the car left the shop, because we didn't have practice. So and then it was fun to try and dial it in throughout the race, more so than what you would on a normal weekend when you get practice and stuff. So it was exciting. I enjoyed it. I think we were able to do it and not hinder or make the racing worse. I think if anything, I think the racing was probably better. So really enjoyed the way everything played out last year, and excited to see that a lot of the races this year we're not going to have practice as well. So I really like that, and I felt like it kind of played in our hand and kind of worked to our advantages on several occasions. So really looking forward to that. Like I said, the new track's going to Dakota. I mean, that's a impressive track in itself. So getting to go there and race will be exciting. And I'm just really looking forward to getting the season going and seeing what we're able to do. Last year we were, I think our average finish was like 22nd last year, and we were solid top 20s almost every weekend unless we had something go wrong. So I want to step that up. I want to be top 15 every weekend and playing in the top 10s on several occasions. So I like to push myself. I like to push my team, and I think they enjoy that as well. They want the same thing too. They want to go out and be competitive every weekend and do the best that we possibly can at JD Motorsports.
Jeffrey, you just mentioned it there, wanting more top 15s and top 10 finishes this year. Running the full season, what kind of stability does that give you as a driver, and JD having you in the car every weekend? Are you able to set higher, loftier goals like top 15s or maybe top 10s?
Yeah, I mean, I think being locked in for me as a driver is a very. It's nice to feel wanted, and for these guys to ask me to come back. Obviously, we built some great partnerships with sponsors throughout the year with Contec, Forever Loan, FlexFit, all KSDT, CPA, all these guys that came in and got behind me as the year went on and really supported us. I think we're excited about trying to do more this coming year as well. So I think just us as a program and a team, having a game plan. I mean, we signed our deal before Christmas, and when you got time to prepare and plan and I guess lay everything out and get an idea of how you want to vision your season going, it definitely helps and makes it easier to set a higher expectations. And I know Johnny Davis is probably one of the biggest competitors of them all. He's just a diehard racer and wants to be fast every weekend and wants to make the program better everywhere he can. And I know he's been at the shop several times over the past few weeks just trying to make sure everything's prepared and ready to go. And, he's just as excited as I am to get back to the track. So, we want to go and improve upon where we were last year and then improve upon, our results every weekend and try and keep climbing that ladder to being in the top 10, on a regular basis.
You mentioned some of your sponsors in that last sentence there, but is there anybody else that you want to thank for making all of this happen as we get ready for the 2021 season?
Yeah, I mean, just, everyone that came on board last year, Grading, they came on board for a couple of races. There was a lot of partners that stepped up last year that made it possible for us to be able to, go out there and compete. And, all the guys at JD Motorsports, the guys at my company, JEI, just everyone that, works their butts off to make this happen for me to go and chase my dream.
Right.
I can't ever thank those guys enough. They worked their butts off to be able to give me this opportunity, and I want to go out there and make the best of it.
Yeah, I think I can speak for all of us when I say that JD Motorsports has obviously come a long way in the last several years, and I think you're in about as good of equipment as anybody can ask for. So you definitely have what it takes to at least get into the top 15, top 20, and we wish you the best of luck at Daytona and all of the 2021 season. And thanks for taking the time out to join us tonight.
Yes, sir. No problem. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully go down to Daytona and start the season off with a bang and, get us a good finish down there and just keep that ball rolling.
Yep, sounds good. Jeffrey, thank you so much. Have a great night, sir, and best of luck at Daytona.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Y'all have a good night, too.
All right, you too. Jeffrey Earnhardt, the number nothing Chevrolet
Number
for
nothing.
JD Motorsports. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back more of the Inside Pass right after this.
Do you love the sound of high-revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
Victory Custom Trailers is the place to go for your next new or used trailer or coach. Being personally involved in the racing community allows Victory to fully understand what racers need in a trailer. They have over 200 coaches and trailers in stock for a variety of industries, and they can serve anyone in the continental U.S. If you're looking for something custom, they can assist in designing a trailer to fit your needs. Check out their entire inventory online at victorycustomtrailers.com.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
What an awesome game. What's up with your car? I don't know. It won't start. How are we getting home? Chill. My parents signed me up for the roadside assistance from Lewis Meineke. It was free with my oil change. They'd come and get the car started or get us home and tow the car to the shop.
Good to know. With my driving, my parents never know what to expect.
When you join the Meineke Car Care Club with a $35 preferred service, you get 4 free months of roadside assistance, including tire change, battery jump, lockout service, towing, and more. Contact Lewis Meineke, located on Route 1, or call 827-2054.
When do you think of a plumber? Like most people, even if it's an emergency, you can be confident about who will arrive to help you. For quality and reliability, count on someone you can trust. Call on the plumbing services of Hague Quality Water of Maryland. Plumbing doesn't have to be an emergency. We handle all kinds of preventative maintenance too. Hague Quality Water of Maryland is family owned here in Annapolis since 1993. For a refreshing choice, call us at 888-84-WATER or visit us online.
race fans. This is Chris Wright. Thanks for listening to these guys. Some great radio hosts. You're listening to the Inside Pass.
Sorry, I had to wait for the beginning of it.
Little BTO, man.
I had to wait for the beginning
Turner
of it.
Overdrive.
Welcome back to the Inside
right.
Pass. By the way, all re-entries were done by me.
Canadian,
so I'm
eh?
not going to... I do have a decent
give you a
taste in
ding
music.
for that.
So all of the ones that they've been listening to for the last year or so have all been done by Murdoch. So I had to get my taste in there too. So I got a decent taste in music.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes I do. Randy Miller, Tom Baker, Peter Strada, Noah Lewis, and Red, our esteemed
button pusher.
What? Button pusher. Well, I mean, we all push each other's buttons, but he pushes the official buttons that make the show run. So,
Yes.
So for those of you who were not with us last week, we kind of changed the format a little bit, went more of a pardon the interruption debate style of show. Getting some pretty good rave reviews. I mean, most of the people that I've messaged and that I know listen to the show, so they thought it was a fantastic show. So thank you to the 3 people, including my mom, that listened to the show. That listened to the show. So this week we decided to flip the script a little bit and let Melik be our moderator. So he's going to provide the questions. I'm still going to keep score because there's no official documentation for the score. So.
And I think since you went last week, you get to go first this week.
Okay, that's.
I just think it's only fair. You got to go last week.
I made the questions though, so I mean, they all have access to the questions. So
you made the ones last week, and you still finished 4th.
That's true.
And you judged yourself.
That's true. Well, I didn't want to make it seem like it was only my show, so I give myself all the points.
See, okay.
So I wanted to be fair.
All right.
All
okay,
right.
Reality
I'm okay
Melon,
if you
go
give me the
ahead.
points.
So I guess
again.
we'll do me, then Noah, then Peter, then Tom. We'll just go counterclockwise.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so the first question here is Third Sport splits with Ford. Where do they go next year? What manufacturer?
Well, not Toyota, because Toyota has obviously proven that they're not the strongest team. I added it on there. That's why it's not on there.
Okay.
I'm just like, wait a minute.
Looking at my copy of the
What shit am I watching? No, I added it because it was breaking news
Braille.
today, so I added it at the end of the
I
thing.
see,
So,
okay.
Anyway.
Read the question again, please.
Third Sport separates with Ford. Where do they go next?
Okay,
I mean, they don't have many options, but I would say not Toyota because, as we've all seen with KBM, Toyota's not the strongest fleet out there right now. If you're going to go with the strongest fleet, I would think Chevrolet because GMS won the championship, and their cars are all strong. But you only got 2 more options left if you're going to go with an actual dealer, an actual manufactured engine. So I don't really know where they go from here, but I don't think it really matters at the end of the day. I mean, there's only a couple of options. So, Noah?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Chevy bases are covered right now. I think I've heard actually that they may go with a Toyota manufacturer and maybe help that program out over there. Like we said, the Toyotas aren't really the best right now. It does have a lot to do with the Elmore engines on each manufacturer. So wherever they go, it's not going to be as big of a difference as it would have been a few years back. But I will say that I think it would be interesting to see ThorSport go back to Toyota and try to improve that program again.
Peter?
I think they're going to Toyota. I think, like Noah just said, the Ilmore motor makes everything an equal playing field, and ultimately this is just the stickers on the front of their trucks. I think they will be Toyota Tundras come the new season.
Peter? Or Tom? Whatever. Whatever.
Tom's going to be like, the Dodge Ram is making an entry into...
Okay, here's the deal. The very first place ThorSport needs to go is on the Dr. Phil show to solve their commitment issues. This truck team changes. They change like underwear more than Cher does in the middle of a show. I mean, they're going to Toyota, man. That's where they're going. I don't know. Honestly, at this point, you could flip a coin, and as you guys said, I don't think it would really make any difference what they put on the car. But they like I said, more costume changes than a Cher show. It's hard to have continuity when you keep going from one program to another, I think. So I'm hoping wherever they go this time, they stay for a while so that they can get a driver lineup in there and go win some races. They definitely had, except for Enfinger, they won some last year, but as far as playoffs go, I would argue they had an off year as compared to usual.
You know how hard it is for them to peel that Ford sticker off and put the Toyota sticker on instead?
Well, I wonder if they had all their Toyota bodies still left.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be kind of difficult to ship everything out to their home base. They're not out here in North Carolina like
Sandusky,
everybody else.
Ohio.
Yeah.
FedEx and UPS don't run at the shop every day like they do around here. Tesla has a truck, by the way, so maybe they can,
Tesla
bring
and Dodge
Tesla.
are returning. You heard it here first.
The armor body
or
truck.
Tesla's in no.
No, let's not do that.
No.
So Kyle Larson won his second straight Golden Driller. What are your guys' thoughts on him taking home 2 in a row?
Well, I mean, with stiff competition and the fact that he led all 55 laps of the race, I mean, it really wasn't that much competition. And his predecessor flipped, how many laps into the race did he flip?
2 to go.
I think it was only 2
2
to
to
go.
go.
Christopher Bell.
2 to go right on his bumper.
So, yeah, I mean, because I only caught the very end of the race. So I caught from the flip on, so I didn't really remember what lap it was on. But, I mean, the fact that he was able to hold off Christopher Bell, I guess, obviously proves that he deserved the win. But it's 2 in a row. And he proved you wrong, Tom, because last week you said his first win was going to be Daytona, and he won before that. So.
Well, first win in a stock car. Last I knew, they raced midgets at the Chili Bowl. But, okay.
A win is a win.
That's right.
We all come from racing, so.
Yeah, it was definitely going to be. I picked Kyle Larson going in, but it was going to be tough for him to hold Bell off. He got lucky with a caution there right as Bell was getting to him and almost made a pass. And but Bell was flying, man. I mean, he was coming to come get Larson. And what Larson needed to happen was somebody to slip up on that cushion again, and that's what happened to Bell. And he went, I think, 4 times up and over high in the air. Glad he was able to climb out of that car, But yeah, once that happened, Kyle Larson had it in the bag. He was the best other guy there. He had the restart to jump away from the field, and he came around to, like we said, get that second straight Golden Driller.
Like you just mentioned, guys jumping the cushion. Larson almost did jump the cushion a couple times. Even though he paced the entire race, he was not perfect out front, so he gave guys like Justin Grant, Christopher Bell, even Rico Avery chances to get close to him and make a move on him. But he was able to outlast everyone and take his second Golden Driller, obviously, and I think this will open the floodgates for him come Daytona.
So much of this race is about traffic, and Kyle started on the pole, so he had a number of laps before he really got into traffic, and even when he did, it took a long time for Justin Grant to really catch him into battle, and then you had to wait for Bell to get there. I feel like this race was basically a timing and circumstance thing. Kyle probably had the best car, at least the second best car, but he had track position from the start and was able to control himself during the race. And, obviously Chris Bell went across the line a little bit and it bit him. He said he was either going to win it or wear it, and he wore it. So it was a good win for Kyle, and, we'll see how many in a row he can get as the years go by now.
So Noah Gragson will attempt his first Daytona 500 with Beard Motorsports. Is he a threat to win the 500?
Well, I think it's Daytona. Everybody is the threat to win the Daytona 500. I mean, it's, you're on a level playing field when it comes to the Daytona 500. I mean, as long as he can keep it on all fours, because, we had that problem last year with Brendan Gaughan. Couldn't keep it on all fours. So, again, you go to Daytona, all 42 drivers have a shot to win the race. You just have to have a little bit of luck on your side and be in the right place at the right time. So, no one knows how to get around that racetrack pretty good. So, I think if he has as good a shot as any to win the Daytona 500, no?
Yeah, that Beard Motorsports car isn't too bad. I mean, we've seen Brendan Gaughan come with success in that car and even be able to get in the pack and make some moves. But I think they'll follow somewhat of the same strategy as they did last year for the 500, and that is to kind of hang around at the rear of the pack a little bit, a little further back maybe even, and let all the chaos happen and then be there at the end. And if that happens, Noah Gragson knows how to slice and dice, and he definitely can make his way up to the front in Daytona.
Noah's absolutely a threat to win the Daytona 500. This is like an audition for him. It's his Cup debut. He's focusing on the Xfinity title. He doesn't have any more Cup races planned. He's trying to catch an owner's attention because he's in the Hendrick development program, but the table's full up at Hendrick in the Cup Series. So I think he'll definitely turn some heads, hopefully make the race on speed or through the duel. And I think he will be up front in contention late, like we've seen that car in past years at Daytona.
Considering he's sponsored by a casino, he has a 1 in 41 chance of winning the 500. You have to factor in that Juan Pablo could come out of the pits, take out the entire field, and the pace car could win. So 1 in 41 for Noah. I don't realistically think that he wins the race without some really big circumstances. I just... again, you get these one-off situations, and you got to factor in speed of pit stops and all of that. Yes, it's possible that he could win, but I would give him a less than 40% chance of winning the 500 in that equipment. But I certainly think a top 5, top 10 is possible.
So Taylor Gray was caught filming himself at an ARCA test. what should happen to him? And this is an interesting question because I just want to see what the age difference say about this one.
Well, I mean, Brad got slapped for doing it several years ago that he did it. So, I mean, he's a young kid. Obviously, you're going to do stupid things, but I don't really know it's a great idea to be filming yourself going 180 miles an hour during an ARCA test. So I think the stupidity alone is enough to be like, dude, really, are you serious right now? You probably should never do that again.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you think about texting and driving in the real world, going 65 down an interstate, you don't want to do it. It is very riskful to sit there and try to Snapchat and drive with one hand at Daytona when you're about to enter a corner at 180 miles per hour. So, very, very unsmart thing to do. I don't know why. I mean, I don't get it. I don't think you should ever do it. But maybe recording it and showing your friends privately at the most, but posting it, I mean, you gotta be smarter than that.
If I were to leave the studio tonight and go film myself driving out here on I-40, a cop would probably pull me over and give me a pretty hefty fine. So I think Taylor Gray should have the same situation, same punishment.
What should happen to him? He should get the Race Chaser Radio Daytona Dork Award. That's what should happen to him. I mean, Taylor, what are you doing, buddy? I mean, it was one thing when we all thought that you had, probably like had it in, tape somewhere or something, but driving one-handed at Daytona in an ARCA test and then putting it online, what did you think would happen? It's like he was sleepwalking all these years from Brad. I mean, I know he's not that old, but he had to have watched that race. Wasn't that long ago. So yeah, that's a crazy deal, and I hope they don't over punish him. But
but there does need to be something.
I think so. Yeah,
for sure. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with round number 2 right after this.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right. It's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
Victory Custom Trailers is the place to go for your next new or used trailer or coach. Being personally involved in the racing community allows Victory to fully understand what racers need in a trailer. They have over 200 coaches and trailers in stock for a variety of industries, and they can serve anyone in the continental U.S. If you're looking for something custom, they can assist in designing a trailer that fit your needs. Check out their entire inventory online at victorycustomtrailers.com.
He wanted to be known for doing his best.
Sure, right.
His best made him Major League Baseball's most valuable player.
Strike 2.
He played in 6 World Series and was elected to the Hall of Fame. Although an honest man, he was best at stealing home. But the best quality of Jackie Robinson's life was his character. So here's to you, Mr. Robinson. Thanks for passing it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
I'm Chase Elliott, and you're listening to the Inside Pass.
I didn't even plan that. It's actually pretty good. I didn't plan that at all. Thanks, Jacob Silman.
That was a bit of Rush there, done in some sort of weird musical form, but that was the beginning of
it was kind of weird. The first time I heard that, I was like, that sounds weird, but okay, well, whatever. I mean, it's like a techno version, but whatever. Welcome back to the Inside Pass. Randy Miller, Tom Baker, Peter Strada, Noah Lewis, and Melik doing the button pushing for us tonight and being moderator for our show. If you missed Jeffrey Earnhardt or any other part of our show tonight, you can catch it online at some point in time this week. Just search Race Chaser Radio on your favorite podcasting website, and it'll pull it up, or you can just go to Race Chaser and listen to the on-demand stream, or InsidePassLive.com and listen to the Spreaker version of the stream from our website as well. Next week on the show, we've got Bob Pockris.
Bob Pockris. Wow.
He's a longtime friend of the show. He's been on the show many, many times before.
The Bob Potter.
Before he became big-time Fox guy, back when he was in Sporting News, back when Yahoo owned Sporting News. He was a contributor there, so he's been on the show many, many times, but never did work out for him to be on because of conference calls. When you're a big Fox executive guy, you have conference calls out the wazoo. So, but we're glad to have him on. Before we get to round two, it's funny that we talked about Taylor Gray and how he filmed himself racing, and I thought we went to Noah for a comment, and I thought he's the last person that needs to be telling somebody how to do anything and text at the same time.
Oh, wow. That's a low blow. That's a low blow.
Don't take lessons from Noah on how to do anything.
No, I have experience, okay, Tanner?
This is what not to do.
Don't text and drive or text and walk down the steps, let alone go into Daytona at 180 miles per hour. My ankle can attest.
Yes.
Does that mean he has more talent than you? Because he didn't wreck when he was filming himself, so.
Likely so.
That's why he's in the car and Noah's sitting next to us.
Exactly.
By the way, Tom won round one with 6 points. Peter has 5 points, and me and Noah have 4. So
round three.
So round
number two is fill in the blank.
Okay.
So having seven road courses this season makes the championship chase blank.
Elliott. It's gonna be his championship chase to lose. He's got 7 road course races on the season. It's gonna be Chase's championship.
See, Randy thinks he's on Match Game. He just gave the definitive answer.
Hey,
he wrote this question exactly so he would get a point.
But I actually didn't even think about it until a commercial break, and I'm like, Chase Elliott. That makes sense. I'm gonna go with that.
That's great.
Wow. So
I like it.
Point for that.
I'm going to go ahead and give you 3 because
follow that, Noah.
Fine. I'll give myself 2, and we'll break the difference.
Oh man. No, I would say wacky. I think it's going to be very, very wacky. Do I elaborate here? So,
you can.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to know where you came with wacky.
Yeah, wacky. Because of how many, the 7 road courses throw in a huge wrench into what we usually see. It opens the door for a bunch of guys that are better at the road course level and don't have the cars that can usually compete on the ovals, open to possibly getting a win and jumping their way into the championship run. So, I think it's going to be wacky. I think it's going to throw a big change of what we've seen in the past.
I'm half stealing Randy's idea, and I'm going to say Chase Briscoe because we've seen over the past year or two, he's really adapted well to road course racing, and that 14 car has been stout on road courses. I believe Boyer was close to winning a stage at the Roval and led a tunnel out to that race. So I think Chase Briscoe, especially on road courses this year, will be one to watch out for.
We need more people named Chase.
Yeah, I have nobody named Chase left to name, so I'm going to say that I think having 7 road courses makes the championship chase delicious because it's going to mix some things up a little bit, especially if Briscoe sneaks in and wins 1 or 2, or you get another driver that wouldn't normally be in the chase that would be good on a road course and sneaks in and wins 1. I think it could really mix things up. I like it.
Name you could mention there, who could possibly be one that would jump in there and mix it up? Austin Cindric. He's running limited races, remember?
Yes,
but he wouldn't get into the chase. He would just get a W.
Yeah. Well, and Kaz Gralla is another one. If you get
those are just names that are not running for a championship that you might see on those road courses.
That's true.
With that being said, Chase Elliott wins blank number of those road course races.
How many races are there? 7, right?
7.
So I'm going to go with 10 because I'm sure they're going to add. Well, I'm sure they're going to add a couple more in there when tracks lose dates, and then we have to come up with something else. So we'll run Daytona a couple more times, or we'll find some, cornfield in Indiana to run a road course race on. So I'll give him 10, 3 extra races just in case we change the format at some point in time during the year.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say 5 because it's so hard to bet against Chase Elliott on a road course, but I don't think that he's going to have the stars aligned to sweep them all. And 5 is another number over at Hendrick Motorsports, so I figure I'll throw in to that, and I'll go with 5.
I'll go one less than Noah and go 4. I don't think Chase Elliott's perfect on road courses. I think guys like Martin Truex, Kyle Busch, they will catch up to him, and I think the 9 will have some great battles on every road course race this year, but I don't think he'll be perfect. I think his luck's got to run out at some point.
Peter, the man ran into a wall, backed it up, and won the race later on.
That's true.
But, yeah.
It's true.
6. He's going to win 6. And he's going to win the first 6, and then somebody's just going to have enough and just drive him straight off the bus stops or something in the 7th one just to make sure he doesn't win it.
Very true. Could happen.
Blank will be under the most pressure in 2021. Which driver or team who is under the most pressure?
I'm going to go with Matt DiBenedetto because he already knows he's not going to come back next year. So he's going to have a lot of pressure to find another team that's going to take a chance on him and give him another opportunity. And so he's racing for not only a job, but he's also racing because he obviously wants to get the 100th win for Wood Brothers. So he's going to do everything he can to get that win.
I think you took Peters because I saw him make an expression over there.
He gave me the evil eye. I've never seen him give me the evil eye before.
Oh, man. I'm going to say Eric Jones because this is just a weird year for him. He's thrown over to Richard Petty Motorsports. He's moved out of a car that he knew can contend for wins every weekend and into a car that he's just going to have to make solid finishes with. So I think it's going to be a pressure year for him and to see what kind of growth happens within that organization while he's there and see what he can do.
I was going to say Matt DiBenedetto, but I'll go with my option B, which was 2311 Racing. Yes, they have a lot of attention and eyeballs with him, having Michael Jordan as their co-owner, but they just got their first car for Daytona, I think, a week or so ago. So they're going to be a bit slow coming out of the gate. Do I think Bubba could contend for a playoff spot on points or by winning? Yes, but I question their ability to stay consistent throughout the spring and summer months.
Chris Bell is the one that's going to be under the most pressure in 2021 for 2 reasons. Number 1, you're not in the satellite car anymore. You're with the home team, and we all know what's happened to the last 2 drivers of that car who haven't been able to produce big. Eric Jones won 1 or 2 each year, but it wasn't enough. He's out, Chris Bell's in, and I know Chris is Toyota's boy, but Chris Bell has got to produce in that number 20 car. Otherwise, at some point a year or 2 down the road, the next Chris Bell is going to come in and he's going to be gone.
Yep.
Sam Mayer will win blank races in 2021.
Well, let's see. He's running every single series in existence, I believe, to start the season.
Just about.
He's going to run ARCA, so give him however many races he's going to. He's going to run the whole ARCA series season. So we'll say 6 there, probably half the season. And then he's going to run some truck races at the beginning of the year. So he won 1 last year, so I'll give him 1 there. And then when he gets Xfinity halfway through the year for junior, so I'll give him 1. So I'll say 8 total, something like that. I'll go with 8. That sounds like a good round number.
Yeah, wow. I didn't think about breaking them up, but
whatever. I was trying to do all the math.
Yeah.
That's a lot of math to do.
I'm gonna just go with trucks and Xfinity here. I think in the truck series he can go and get him maybe 2 or 3 wins, and then over on the Xfinity side, once he takes over for there, maybe late in that season, once the team starts meshing, maybe going out and getting an extra win over on the Xfinity side.
That Xfinity 8 team has been really hit or miss the past couple of years. We've seen with the rotation of drivers, they just haven't been able to find consistency. Yes, I think Sam Mayer can win a truck race or 2, maybe 3 this year, but I think in Xfinity he'll be lucky to get 1 win. So I'll say he gets 4 wins in the national divisions.
don't forget, he's running for Henderson Motorsports in the Truck Series. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad team, but it's not GMS.
That's true.
So we have to factor that in. He might win an ARCA race or two, give him a couple there maybe. Probably none in the Truck Series, and I don't believe he wins any Xfinity races either. So I'm going to go with 2 wins for Sam. And I still want to see what happens if Josh Berry goes out in his first 12 races and gets a win, puts himself in the playoffs. How do they deal with that, given that Sam's scheduled to take over after his 18th birthday?
That's a good point.
Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski have never won the Daytona 500. Blank will be first.
Not either one of those 3. No, I'm just kidding. If I had to take a pick, I'd say Martin Truex. I mean, he's with Gibbs, and Gibbs won the 500 last year with Hamlin. So I know Kyle is too, but they are practicing and qualifying this year. So that's an interesting question. I'm going to plead the 5th on this one because I don't know.
Well, okay.
I can do what I want. It's my show. Leave me alone.
I would say Kyle Busch. I think Kyle has really been around toward the end of these races lately, and he's been due to kind of clinch in on a Super Speedway race, and it's Kyle Busch, and the one thing that he's left out is a Daytona 500 win. Not to mention Kyle Busch coming off of a season like last season. It would be something that could really boost his momentum. New crew, chief pairing. So Kyle Busch going out and winning that first one, I think that'd be something that would happen.
I say Brad Keselowski. My first trip to Daytona was back in the summer race for 2016, and he made that race very boring. I think he led just about every lap, and he's due for a 500 win, considering all the teammates he has in the Penske house and in just Ford performance as a whole. So I think Keselowski.
Casgralla will be first. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to go with Brad too. And really, again, you can flip a coin at Daytona, just throw them all up in the air and see which one lands first and pick them to win. But I really feel like Keselowski's long overdue. He's so strong there. I wouldn't be surprised if Brad got it done this year because I think he will get one before he retires.
Yeah, I see all 3 of them actually winning the 500 at some point in their careers, but we'll see what happens. Brad's
it's going to be a 3-way tie across the line. And
yeah, that would be interesting to see. So Noah wins round number 2, so we'll have round number 3 when we come back. The lightning round is coming up next. We'll be back with more of the Inside Pass right after this.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right. It's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
He wanted to be known for doing his best.
Sure, right.
His best made him Major League Baseball's most valuable player.
Strike 2.
He played in 6 World Series and was elected to the Hall of Fame. Although an honest man, he was best at stealing home. But the best quality of Jackie Robinson's life was his character. So here's to you, Mr. Robinson. Thanks for passing it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com. When Marlon Shirley was 5 years old, he was in an accident and lost his foot, but he didn't lose his heart.
When you tackle a challenge that you just cannot even fathom tackling, when you accomplish that, the amount of integrity and the will and the heart that you'll get from that experience is what will set you up for your life.
In less time than it took Marlon Shirley to say that, he can now run 100 meters because today he's the world's fastest amputee. Overcome it. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
Hi, my name's Eric Jones, and you're listening to the Inside Pass.
Welcome back to the Inside Pass here on WSIC. Thank you so much for listening to us. If it's Saturday morning, you're probably tuned into your radio right now listening to us, part of the Motorsports Power Hour with PMN's At the Track. Our good friend Lenny Paticki hosts that show, and it comes on right after us on Saturday mornings, 9:30 a.m. If you're listening right now, you're like, oh, look, it is 9:30 in the morning. Probably eat breakfast.
Actually.
9. Oh, yeah,
9
9
a.m. Saturdays, yes,
yeah,
for our show on WSIC's family of stations.
Yes. And I think can't you listen to it from all the three
WSIC
stations?
Web or WSICFM.com. Either one will get you there. Yeah.
And you listen to that show. Lenny's usually on the show.
Lenny comes on after us at 10 o'clock.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like being on Outworld, not this show, but Motorsports Madness.
He's been on some of our
a couple
shows,
of times.
yeah.
So we like to intermingle with Lenny Paticki every once in a while. All right, round 3 is up next. This is our lightning round, our final segment of the day. So Matt's going to...
Yeah. And being the crew chief here, I'm going to go ahead and just short pitch you guys. So we're going to come in here and short pit in this round. You got Cole Custer, Christopher Bell, and Tyler Reddick. Which one of these has a better sophomore season?
I'm going to go with Reddick because Reddick looked like he had some flashes of brilliance there. Looked like he might win a race or two later, earlier in the season, and then ultimately didn't pan out for him. But I think he's going to have a really good sophomore year.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bell, and I'm going to kind of piggyback off of. That's right, that Bell.
Yes.
I'm going to piggyback off
it seemed appropriate.
Yes, off of what Tom said earlier, and that is that he does need to perform. He needs to come in, and it's not like he's just jumping into the Cup car for the first time. He has had the warm-up time over at LFR, so he needs to jump in over here and pick up where that team left off and improve it, actually. And like Tom said, you think of Christopher Bell, you don't think of somebody being moved out eventually, but you didn't think of that with Eric Jones either.
Right.
So he does need to come in and make some noise, and I think Christopher Bell will do that.
I'll agree with Randy and say Tyler Reddick. Reddick made a serious charge to the playoffs last year. I think back to Daytona, he crashed out while trying to go for the lead in the regular season finale, and he finished last year 19th in points. If you take away Cole Custer's Kentucky win, he finishes 20th or 21st in points. And then Christopher Bell finished 20th in points. So based on that alone, I think Reddick is the most talented of the three, and I think he gets it done first and locks up his first career playoff spot.
I'm going to say Reddick as well, and I think RCR has been improving pretty rapidly over the last couple of seasons, and I think it's because of that Tyler has the edge, and I actually think that he has a shot to win the Daytona 500. He's great on super speedways, especially at Daytona, so I think Tyler Reddick has the best sophomore season of the three.
What driver makes the chase in 2021 that did not make it in 2020?
Again, I'm going to have to go with Tyler Reddick. I mean, all the reasons that Peter said earlier, if you take out all the things that happened to the three contenders last year, Tyler probably would have come pretty close to making the chase. So I think this is going to be the year that he really needs to show that he's what he's capable of in that car. But number two, just show that RCR has more than one driver capable of making the playoffs. So,
yeah, I'm going to jump on the Bubba Wallace train here, and I think that team has a lot of big partners. It's got a lot of investing, and it's got a big highlight and spotlight over it going into this season. So I think everybody is going to push and give everything they can, including Bubba Wallace, to make sure that car is ready right from the first time it hits the track to be a playoff and a win contender. So I'm going to go and say Bubba Wallace makes the playoffs this year, and after failing to make it in years past. Good grief.
I'll go out
-1.
No.
Enunciate, sir.
I'll go out on a bit of a limb here and say Eric Jones makes the playoffs for Richard Petty Motorsports. This team was on the outside fringe of making the playoffs last year. At times they were 19th, 20th in points. And I think Eric Jones is a very talented young driver who has a lot to prove this year after being shuffled out of the house team at Gibbs. I think being the main driver at the team will really help Eric Jones, and I think with this team just continuing to build more, with that RCR Alliance being on their campus and welcome, I expect big things for that 43 car this year.
I don't know about any of the rest of your picks, but I know mine's going to make the playoffs for sure.
Oh, I know he's
Kyle
going, yep.
Larson is going to make the playoffs in 2021, and he's going to start it with a win in the Daytona 500.
I had that same thought and forgot about it.
See what you get?
The most anticipated race on the 2021 race schedule.
So I'm not going to go with the obvious answer because I know somebody's going to say it. So I'm going to say Nashville. And the reason why I say that is because I know all eyes are going to be on that track and all eyes are going to be on that race to see how the if fans are allowed in the stands, just to see what the atmosphere is like for that race. Because I know everybody wants to see the Cup Series or NASCAR return to the fairgrounds. So I think this is going to be the race that ultimately makes NASCAR decide if it's worth staying in the Nashville market, and if they can put on a good race, then I don't see why they won't be able to go to the fairgrounds.
Yeah, I'm also going to bypass what I think you were thinking of and being the favorite, and I'll go with COTA. I think that that's an anticipated race for a number of reasons, some good, some not good. Some people are worried about that track and what it may produce for NASCAR racing. It's a very tight course, so they think that maybe it may not be the best racing, but we don't know until we see the cars hit the track. So I think that's a new place that we're headed that we really just have no clue on how it's going to react with the car, and I'm anticipating that.
I'll bite the bullet and give the obvious answer, Bristol Dirt.
Yeah, there it is.
Has this much attention ever been put on a Bristol spring race? I mean, I love Bristol Motor Speedway. I love going to the night race, but I've never been to the spring race, and I'm actually excited to go and see this Bristol Dirt race in the spring. They're putting the surface down as we speak now, and seeing all the pictures, I'm legitimately excited for it, which I would not have said 2-3 months ago. And I think just everything they're doing on dirt, the sprint cars, the modifieds, it'll be a great success that we'll be wanting more in years to come.
My most anticipated race on a 2021 schedule is the modified race at Martinsville. So I don't know. If I had to go with the Cup schedule, I actually think COTA. I love that answer, and I think because we've seen a few drivers already go test there, and their response after running the Champ Car Series road course race, their endurance race there, was just nothing but good for driving a car on that course. So I think COTA is going to be the race to watch in 2021, and maybe one of the best races of the year, period, after it's over.
And the final one for the evening, Grammy Award-winning Pitbull is now co-owner at Trackhouse. What are your guys' thoughts?
Lord have mercy. Look, NASCAR is all about mainstream media, and so obviously every once in a while they have to do something to get media attention, which I know they didn't have anything to do with this. It was all, Justin Marks and everything like that. But I mean, anytime you bring a high-profile celebrity into the mix, I mean, we saw what happened with Michael Jordan in 2311. So I think anytime you bring a celebrity in who's not a NASCAR type of person, it's obviously going to generate, a lot of buzz and a lot of anticipation. As long as that translates into good quality finishes for someone like Daniel Suarez, who deserves to have a good ride, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305, Pitbull.
No, disqualified, DQ. Nope.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Stay in your lane, sir.
That's right. I know about country music,
yes.
So we can. But no, I think it's great because anytime you have someone mainstream, someone that you don't think kind of fits the NASCAR stereotype that gets put on our sport, coming in, that's a huge deal. He brings a lot of fans. He brings a lot of support. He and Justin Marks actually have a similar system with certain STEM programs. So I think it's great. Anytime someone like that can bring a broader audience, it's good for the sport.
He's texting and walking again.
Oh boy.
I mean, I just love that Pitbull's coming in. I'm having classmates text and call me about Pitbull, saying what's he doing in NASCAR, what's he doing just with Trackhouse, who know nothing about NASCAR. So that's already proving that this is getting more eyeballs on the sport, more fans potentially, and I think this can only be a positive, and I really hope that Trackhouse has great results out of the gate to help elevate the status of Pitbull in this sport.
I mean, I could sort of be as big a dork as Taylor Gray and throw out the obvious dog jokes here about the, I hope Daniel doesn't end up on his wolf, that kind of thing. But I won't. I will just say that my first thought was, who is Pitbull? That shows you how old and out of touch I am with
dogs can be owners
music.
in NASCAR?
I'm still listening to the 70s. No, I think it's good, I think, to bring new eyes to the sport. And anytime you can get somebody like that involved, it's a great thing. I love it. I hope they have a great season.
All right. Tom wins this week. We'll see you guys next week. More than Inside Pass Lead Lap coming up next. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Sit down, strap in, and Granny put your teeth in your pocket. Leap Lap Radio, powered by Victory Custom Trailers, starts now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lead Lap, presented by, or powered by, if you want to say it that way, Victory Custom Trailers. We'll tell you more about what they've got going on in a little while, but we appreciate Chris Hedinger and his staff sponsoring this show, and also want to thank all the folks at Performance Motorsports Network for continuing to be our live on-air partner for our Race Chaser shows as well. My name is Tom Baker in the WSIC studio in Statesville, North Carolina. Two of my fellow Race Chasers are with me in the studio. To my right is Noah Lewis. To my left is Peter Strada. They are the High Point Hustlers, both High Point University students who are very racing knowledgeable and very good at the media work that they're doing. And we're going to start off with some talk about the Chili Bowl. And then at 8:15, we're going to stay on the dirt, but switch to sprint cars and talk to Devin Borden, a young man from Washington, the state, who is making his full-time leap to ASCS competition in 2021. So we'll talk to Devin here in a little while, but we're going to start with the Chili Bowl. We've got James Mellick here also punching buttons, keeping us on the air. I'll start with Peter. Just Kyle Larson getting his second win. Your thoughts on that and on the Chili Bowl week as a whole?
I thought, given the circumstances with COVID and masks and everything, the week went off almost perfectly without a hitch. I think only a couple people had to be removed from the River Spirit Expo Center, and then...
Did they actually have to...
I think maybe one guy, and there was a video circulating on Twitter one day about it.
Of course there was.
It's always one guy, right?
Yeah, one guy. But anyway, going to the actual A-main race, Kyle Larson put on a clinic. If you look at the box score, it'll look pretty boring because he started on pole and led every lap, but he was never out far by that much, and he got to a lot of traffic quickly, and he wasn't perfect out front. As I said on Inside Pass just now, he got up into the cushion a couple times. He looked like he was going to wipe out while leading, so he definitely kept everyone on their toes watching. And I can't say I'm that surprised with him winning, because if you look back at the Chili Bowl the last 10 or so years, there's been so many guys to be repeat winners. The only one who hasn't been was Brian Clausen back in 2014. You got the streak of Kevin Swindell winning, you got Avery's 2, and then Bell's 3, and now Larson's 2. So I can't say I'm that surprised to see Larson get a second Golden Driller.
Yeah, I picked Larson heading into the Chili Bowl, and it's just because of the tear he's been on. I mean, ever since making his return to the racing scene on the dirt side after everything went down on the NASCAR side, he has just been on fire. I mean, almost unstoppable in certain places, and I felt like this would just go along with the storyline of Kyle Larson and his return to the Premier Series where he wants to be back at. And we know he's coming back to with Hendrick Motorsports in the 5 car. So I think this really kicks Kyle Larson's season off with a great start, his racing year, that is. And I really think that, like Peter said, on the box score, it may not look like the Chili Bowl was too entertaining. It looked like maybe it was a Kyle Busch show. But watching that Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Kyle Larson show. But watching that race, you could definitely tell that it wasn't. Like Peter said, he got up on the cushion sometimes. And when Christopher Bell was coming, I thought Christopher Bell was going to get there. He also hit that cushion, and that's what sent him flipping and flying about 4 times through the air, luckily getting out of that car. But Kyle Larson didn't get away too far. He had a competitor close behind him that whole time. I can't talk tonight, I don't think.
I think you got it all out on the Inside Pass earlier.
That's right.
Now you don't have anything left in the tank. I actually thought this was kind of I don't know. I mean, Kyle had track position, obviously starting from the pole, so he kind of ran away with it for a little while. Justin Grant kept him honest, but I don't know that I ever felt like Justin had a shot to pass him. I think Christopher Bell was the only one that we saw that would have had a chance. And, of course, Bell's quote after the race, I was either going to win it or wear it, and we saw how that turned out. He wore it. So, I thought Kyle had a pretty easy time of it for the most part, even though he says he didn't. I think that Tanner Thorson was actually the show coming from the back. He and Darren Pittman both came to the top 5 from the back of the field, and I don't know that TV made nearly as big a deal out of either of them as they should have. But overall, I thought it was okay. I just wish they would figure out how to start the main event at an earlier hour. I understand you want the prime time aspect, but, us East Coasters, I don't know that we want to be sitting up till 1 a.m. waiting for this thing to finish. Maybe you start the overall alphabet soup an hour or two earlier in the morning, and and then try to make it so that you've got only the C and the B, run those quickly, and try to start your A main by at least 10 or 10:30. Then they had the driver introductions, and we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, and then maybe we can move that driver intros from off the racing surface that they've just fixed up and have to go back over, and maybe into more of like the infield. I know it's a small, tight little area there, but there's something that's kind of got to happen there because it is the biggest spectacle to start off the year in the dirt racing side, and it is something that everyone does want to see. And on the broadcasting side of things, they had more opportunities for you to see it than ever before. But like you said, who is going to want to see it that much? That we were at we were watching as a group, and we had a couple guys that were like, "We're going to go catch a nap before this thing starts."
That's the thing.
Because who's going to want to sit there and wait?
When you build your drama and you build to that A main, and then you wait 90 minutes, and the track's still awful. That was the other thing, is I didn't think the track was all that great for the time they spent, make it. They could have left it the way it was after the B main and probably been just as well or better off. So I was a little disappointed with some of that, but I don't want that to detract from the overall Chili Bowl week because I thought it was phenomenal. The flip count was a little bit less than usual. There were some great performances during the week. I've got to give a call to Jesse Love on Friday, who just had turned 16 the day before, which means he was barely old enough to even race the thing. And he goes out, wins his heat and his qualifier, then finishes 7th in the main that night. He fell a little short in the B main on Saturday, but man, that young man is going to be a real threat there in the years to come. And I thought he put on a great show. So overall, I mean, props to that. Those events are not easy to run and put on and do all those things. So,
especially not in the world we're in right now.
Well, that's right.
Even more so.
We have we can all have our criticisms, and I certainly had mine. But I want to balance that by saying I thought overall it was a really good event. And really, again, Kyle Larson earned his win for sure.
I just wanted to point out, I was looking at my phone, the clock, when the race was going on Sunday night. It started just past 12:20, so it was technically Sunday morning, and I said this on Twitter that night. It's just prepping us for the Rolex 24, where we're all going to be staying up for 24 hours.
Well, but you're kind of buying into that, and that's why I said I can't believe Roger Penske survived the whole 24 hours. I was ready for a nap at 10 o'clock.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But no, it was a great week. Always loved that event, and I look forward to next year, obviously. And now we kind of fast forward because the next major event on the motorsports calendar is the Roar, I would say, that's coming up on at least as far as the national stage goes. And then you start thinking about the Rolex 24, and then of course all of Speed Weeks lights up in February, and in between there we've got, in fact, it was this past weekend we had the ARCA testing. Which is always interesting because it gives you a look at some of the guys that may be running in the ARCA race, and then you've got a number of drivers who aren't old enough yet, but they want to get some laps, so they go test or whatever. So that's always fun. And the biggest announcement that I have seen so far regarding the ARCA race is the fact that Rich Bickle is going to come out of retirement and drive for Empire Racing in the ARCA Series event at Daytona. And I would imagine that there's a big portion of our audience who's too young to even remember Rich Bickle racing. He was big when I was a kid. He was a great late model racer and still does some of that, but hasn't raced a big car in years. But coming out of retirement, great guy, always has a good time with what he does, Peter. And so the ARCA race is so known for its youth. We get an infusion of a veteran now who can come back. And I'll promise you, if that car is able to run up front, Richie Bickle will find a way to get it there.
Well, ARCA's used to be about the old guys. Think back to Frank Kimmel or Bobby Gerhardt, who'd always seemingly every year win the Daytona race. But seeing Rich Bickle back in the car will be quite a sight to see come the Daytona race in about 4 weeks. Funny story, I was actually at the Petty Museum earlier today over in Level Cross and saw a Rich Bickle truck license plate. It's kind of a funny coincidence there.
Well, yeah, because I think Rich drove the
That's
Petty
right.
Enterprises
He drove the
truck.
45.
Dodge. Is it 43 or 45?
I think it was the 43.
Okay, all right, because for a while he was running his 45.
Yeah, 59 years old, hopping back in an ARCA car. I mean, that's pretty cool. He's known on the short track level as a deep history in that. So, but yeah, like we said, we used to see more of the older guys in the ARCA series. Yeah. So I think it'd be cool to see someone like he, come in and maybe show these kids what it's all about.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be like I said, Rich is a very personable guy, so he's going to add some flavor to the Daytona ARCA race for sure. And again, next we start thinking about the Roar and what's going to happen at the Rolex. And of course, once again, it seems like we're always talking about Chase Elliott these days. Chase is in that race too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the very busy offseason Chase Elliott has on track. We saw him run the Snowball back before the Christmas break. We saw him this past week attempt the Chili Bowl, his first time there. And now we're seeing him in the Rolex.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting Rolex 24 for sure. Okay, Noah and Peter will head off, and we will come back and reset the table. Devin Borden going to talk to us shortly about his exploits coming up in the ASCS Sprint Car Series. We'll be right back.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper cars, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right. It's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
Victory Custom Trailers is the place to go for your next new or used trailer or coach. Being personally involved in the racing community allows Victory to fully understand what racers need in a trailer. They have over 200 coaches and trailers in stock for a variety of industries, and they can serve anyone in the continental U.S. If you're looking for something custom, they can assist in designing a trailer to fit your needs. Check out their entire inventory online at victorycustomtrailers.com.
He wanted to be known for doing his best.
Sure, you're right.
His best made him Major League Baseball's most valuable player.
Strike two.
He played in 6 World Series and was elected to the Hall of Fame. Although an honest man, he was best at stealing home. But the best quality of Jackie Robinson's life was his character. So here's to you, Mr. Robinson. Thanks for passing it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
Hi, I'm Casey Kane, and you're listening to Race Chaser Radio. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Lead Lap, presented by Victory Custom Trailers. If you, if you are looking for a new or used trailer for any purpose, doesn't have to be motorsports. They have all kinds of trailers for all kinds of uses, whether you're pulling a horse or a cow or you're into construction, whatever it is, they can accommodate you. And the more custom that you need it, the more they shine. Victory Custom Trailers does an amazing job, and they are so confident in their ability to build you exact customized specifications for your trailer that they even give you away. You just go to their website at victorycustomtrailers.com. There's a button at the top that says Design a Trailer. Just click it, and you literally can design your own custom trailer right from the website. They have about 200 new and used trailers on their lot in Michigan. Again, all varieties and all the top brands, and they'll ship it anywhere. It doesn't even have to be in the U.S., even if you're outside the U.S. listening to us and you need a trailer. Victory Custom Trailers. Chris Hedinger and his staff are great friends of mine, and they are absolutely the best at what they do. So look them up on the website. The phone number is on the site. You can give them a call and tell them what you're looking for, and if they don't have it on the lot, they will get it for you. VictoryCustomTrailers.com. We go to the phone line now, and we bring out 18-year-old Devin Borden. Devin is a driver from the state of Washington, a young open-wheel racer, first time on the program. Always happy to have drivers on for the first time. It's a lot of fun. Had the chance to talk to Devin for a little while recently. Just a real talented young kid with a lot of passion and making a move this year that I love seeing, which is to go more National Series racing with the ASCS group. And Devin's on the program now. Welcome to the show, Devin. It's good to have you on.
Yeah, absolutely. How you doing, Tom?
Doing well. First of all, for those who aren't familiar with you, give us about a minute or a minute and a half of your background.
Well, I got quite the little story. So to start out, I was born in a racing family. My grandpa did it. My dad did it. My dad raced for 16 years and raced sprint cars for, I think, 13 of it or something. But I was born into the family of racing, and matter of fact, my dad actually bought my first car when I was just 6 months old, and my grandpa actually bought a grader and built a little track out of it in his backyard. And I started practicing when I was just 3 years old. My dad had a tow rope that he'd always, be there in case it got a little too crazy. He had to pull the rope to kill it. But no, I mean, I've came from quite the racing background, and it's really been the only thing I've ever known. I remember growing up, every Saturday night, me and my mom and brother, we'd all go and go over to Grays Harbor Raceway and watch my dad race, and that's something I know I always really, really enjoyed, and it was super fun. And at one point, I think I was about 8 years old. My dad, we were getting really serious with racing with me. We were starting to travel, doing regional racing, doing a little national racing with the quarter midget. Had to hit some more grands and some of the really big races, and it just got to the point where my dad couldn't do both of us. It was kind of either me or him. And, the great dad he was, he decided he was going to give it up and, essentially relive his dreams through me. And that's kind of what we've been doing the past, 15 years, really. I mean, I just turned 18 now, and man, it's really just been the only thing I've ever known. We've been grinding at it from the time I can remember. And, really it's just, it's really been the only thing I've ever known. And,
Wow.
So really, I mean, it kind of takes us up to now. I've kind of went up through the ranks. I started in quarter midget, got an outlaw cart, gained some experience there. Then went up to a micro sprint, and then I was 14. I got two sprint car races in when I was 14. My dad actually had one of his old rollers. It was a little older, a little outdated, obviously, but it was sitting in the corner of his shop. And we knew that one day I was probably going to get behind the wheel of it. And, one day we're out in the shop working on the micro or whatever, and, me and my dad were like, you know what, maybe it's time to bring it out. And we got out of the corner, started working on it. He actually had a Dawnot 410 that he never sold when he sold all the rest of his stuff. And so he traded that 410 motor for a 360s from Steve Watt, who's like most people know as is like the Maxwell Industries. They make all the shock dynos for everything. We traded that Dawnot 410 for one of his 360s straight across, and threw it in that old roller, got a decent seat for me, and we pulled up to the first race, my first ever sprint car race, and really that's kind of where it started, and it's just kind of kept going from there. We kind of, first year or so, we just kind of got our feet wet, still raced quite a bit of the micro and everything. Then we last couple of years, we've got pretty serious with the sprint car, and, we actually just sold our micro the other day. My little brother had been racing it, but he's not really that interested in it anymore. So we sold that. So now we're full hands on deck on just the sprint car. So, the last couple of years, like I said, have been getting pretty serious with it. And
nice.
Definitely takes up a lot of time, as most people know, but I wouldn't want it any other way. So I guess that's a quick little background on me. It kind of takes us up to where we are now. But anyways, that's basically the little backstory.
Did a great job with that, and it's a great story too. Third generation racer, got your first car at 6 months old, and man, no golf club for you. Your dad basically broke you in right quick, and that's great. I love that story. Okay, so I know you're still in high school. So what went into the decision to go ASCS racing instead of maybe a different sanction or a different tour? What made you decide on ASCS for this year?
Well, so, like we talked about, we're not 100% sure yet if we're going to be able to do this full national tour. Right now, we're 100% doing the first 8 races from Arizona to California to, I believe, Devil's Bowl it is. And then we're kind of going to see from there. It's just me and my dad. We don't really have much of a crew. We got one guy this year. We got one guy this year, Doug Roots, who's probably going to be helping us out a lot because it's really tough for my dad to be there all the time. And it's tough for Doug to be there all the time. So they're going to split half and half. So I got a crew guy, because you can't race a sprint car operation by yourself with me driving the car and all. So I need at least one guy there at all times. And Doug Roos is stepping up. I raced one of his cars last year or a couple years ago now, one of his sprint cars a couple of times. And he really wants to help us out, which is super cool. And, we're just it's just probably just going to be us 3 for the most part. We're going to go out and do it. We're going to hit the first 8 races, see where we're at in points and everything. Financially, we're not as stable as a lot of these other teams are. So we've always kind of played it race by race, and that's what we've had to do because, we don't have the finances that a ton of these other guys do. So it's a struggle for us. But with the money that ASCS can give you, that gives you for the tow money and everything else, you're almost guaranteed about $800 a night if you're in the top 10 in points.
Okay.
So if we could get that money, that'd really change a lot, because without that money, we wouldn't be able to afford to do it. So that's kind of where we're sitting at now. The first 8 races, and then we're gonna have to see where we're at from there. But we could end up doing just like throughout the West Coast, through California, because they got a lot of really good races there too.
Yeah,
a lot of good drivers, a lot of good tracks, and I think that you can gain a lot of experience there as well. But what we'd really like to do is that full national deal, get back in the Midwest. I feel like there's a lot of recognition that you can gain there, and a lot of great tracks, a lot of great drivers, and back in the Midwest, it seems like that's where the holy grail of racing is at. So that'd be ideal. If it doesn't happen, then California would still be good. We're still racing. I feel like I could still get the exposure I need there, but we're just gonna have to kind of see how everything pans out. But we're getting geared up to do this deal. We got our main car. We got a spare roller. So
good.
We're basically there. We definitely got an old cheaper trailer that most people probably wouldn't go out on this national deal with, but it's probably what we're going to have to end up doing to make it happen. But I've been working on it every day, getting it set up better and better, and functionality wise, it's actually pretty nice to work out of. So you just gotta might have to tighten a couple screws here and there, but overall it's going to get us to the track, and really that's all that matters. So we're looking at possibly getting something else, but if not, then this trailer will definitely do us. So that's kind of where we're sitting at. We're not in like I said, we're not in a great situation, but I feel like we have everything that we need. Maybe not want, but everything we need to go do what we need to do. And, that's really all that matters.
Awesome. Well, we're going to hang on, if you will. We're going to put you back into the land of hold and let you listen to Todd Starnes for a little while longer. We're going to step aside on this show, take a break. We'll bring Devin out on the other side and talk some more with him. We'll be back with more of Lead Lap presented by Victory Custom Trailers right after this.
Everywhere you go, you hear it, and you see it. It's coming at you through your phone, your tablet, and your computer. It's broadcast from your favorite radio station, TV networks, and cable companies. It's in the stadiums, the arenas, the ballparks. It screams for your attention at the mall. It's interactive on Main Street. It's even coming at you from the gas pump at the nearby convenience store. What is it? It's digital content. It's digital content. It's digital content. Somebody has to create it. Somebody has to manage it. So whether your dream is to write it, design it, create it, call it, produce it, voice it, host it, light it, shoot it, switch it, record it, color correct it, edit it, code it, repurpose it, tweet it, blog it, post it, compress it, upload it, replay it, or make sure it gets to where it's got to go when it's got to get there in the format it's got to be in. You need to attend Carolina School of Broadcasting. The skills you will learn, the experience you will get, and the connections you will make at Carolina School of Broadcasting will open the doors to the career you want in digital content creation and digital content management. Call or come by today. Click csbradiotv.edu.
Everyone knows Strutmasters is the suspension experts for luxury vehicles, and now we offer motorcycle products. Introducing Easy Rider Complete Motorcycle Air Suspension, brought to you by Strutmasters.com. You can raise and lower your bike with the flip of a switch. Take those long rides with the ultimate comfort of Easy Rider Air Shocks. They're backed by Strutmasters, and you won't believe the low price. Check out Easy Rider Motorcycle Air Suspension at Strutmasters.com.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speed, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Ty Ankrum, and you're listening to the Race Chaser Radio. Now back to the show.
Tyler the Trucker bringing us back from break there. Tyler will be starting his junior year, if you will, if you're doing high school years, his junior year in the truck series. This is year 3 for him, once again with GMS Racing. Welcome back to Lead Lap. We are broadcasting live from the WSIC studio in Statesville, North Carolina. Tom Baker and James Mellick with you. And joining us on the program is Devin Borden. Devin, an 18-year-old sprint car racer out of the state of Washington, who told us in our last segment that he is going ASCS racing, at least for their West Coast swing, the first 8 or so races, with a 2-man crew, himself and another guy. That's dedication right there, Devin, and we're pretty excited to see how you can manage that. I know you're not afraid of hard work because you're going to have to do about half of it and then get in the car and go drive it at the track.
No, that's absolutely right. But like I say, dreams don't work unless you do, and that's my whole attitude. That's what I go by, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get where I want to be in this sport. And it's not easy. A lot of guys do what a lot of guys wouldn't do what I do. But it's like I say, hard work and discipline never goes unrewarded. And really, I'm just hoping at some point it all pays off. But it's always a lot of late nights and early mornings, but it's how it's usually been for me. And I've always had to work on my own stuff and be extremely involved in my own program.
Sure.
Unlike a lot of these other kids are that, can show up and, hop in the driver's seat and, go wheel the race car because they got mommy and daddy paying for everything for all the work to be done on mechanics and this and that, and it's never been that easy for me. And, as nice as it would be at times, I wouldn't want it any other way. I like to be extremely involved in my own program and my own car and my own everything. And, I think it makes me better behind the wheel because I know what's going on with the car and I know, everything that goes into it. And, I think that's one thing that, can kind of separate me from a lot of other kids my age is that, I've always been very, very involved, and I've definitely had to put in the hard work with my own 2 hands because I really have never had anything handed to me. I've always had to work for it. But I feel like that's one of my strengths is I'm a very hard worker, and I got a lot of dedication and stick to itness. So you got to do what you got to do.
Oh, for sure. Where would you like to go with your racing? What is your ultimate goal? Let's say, where would you like to be in 5 years if you could go anywhere you wanted to?
My ultimate goal, like a lot of race car drivers say, they like to make it to NASCAR. That's always been my dream. It's what I'd really like to do. And, I want to go to the top and go down as being one of the best oval track races that there is. Yeah, I feel like I could probably end up being a World of Outlaws driver or something else in the dirt track scene, which would be fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but I want to go down as being one of the best oval track races there ever was, and I want my my name on the Hall of Fame boards, And I feel like as far as oval track racing goes, NASCAR is the highest level that there is. And, you're not going to go down as being one of the best ever unless you're in NASCAR. And that's one of the main reasons I want to do it. And, another reason is because, I'd like to take my cause, which is the Race Routine Foundation, with me to the top. They've helped me out a little bit, and it's something I really believe in. And, I feel that it's something that all of us need to get behind.
Okay.
For the ones that don't know, the Race Routine Foundation is it's a foundation, nonprofit organization where basically they try to prevent you from kids, especially teens, and even adults. Basically, their whole message is that if you got issues, you don't have to solve those issues with drug or alcohol abuse. And it's something I truly believe in, and it's something that I want to see everyone in the racing community get behind, because it's a great cause. And if I were to make it to NASCAR, then I know that cause would definitely go with me, and I feel like that'd enable me to reach a whole nother level of people.
Oh yeah.
So you know what I mean? So but yeah, I mean, the Race Routine Foundation is something that I'm definitely going to be pushing a lot this year. I haven't a ton in previous years, but it's something that I've came across, and it's something that I really believe in, and it's something that we're everyone at Devon Borden Racing is definitely going to be supporting this year, trying to get it out as much as we can. We're going to be running one of their stickers this year, and it's something that even being on the national level that I'm hoping to be on this year, that's even going to enable me to reach a whole nother level of people with that. So,
yeah, for sure. That's this is, and again, for those of you listening, if you want to get more information on this foundation, it's spelled RAYCE, Race Routine, RUDEEN, Race Routine Foundation. And it really is an amazing organization, and it really focuses on the idea that, again, as you have said, it's all about living a healthy lifestyle and being able to overcome the urge or overcome the addiction if you're already there. And there's a lot of information on their website, and they really want to transform the understanding of addiction through supporting an organization that promotes a healthy and addiction-free lifestyle. So check them out, RAYCE, Race Routine, RUDEEN, Race Routine Foundation, and it's raceroutine.org is the website. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I really did want to mention that. Now tell us, quickly how you got to this organization, because you have a very personal connection to this.
Yeah, no. So Kevin Rudine, he's a really big guy in sprint car racing and dirt oval sprint car racing, and he's one of the World of Outlaws most respected and team owners, and he definitely has super nice stuff. And I kind of came across him and through a few different connections. And he told me to come on over to his shop, and I got to check his whole entire operation out. It was super, super neat. And, he's helping me out a little bit with a little bit of fueling tires. But more than anything is the foundation that, I really came across from, obviously him. And, he's obviously the founder of the foundation.
Sure.
And it's because it was his son,
yes.
Race, who died from overdose of opioids. So that's kind of how everything started there, and that's how I came across it. But when it was brought to my attention, it's something I was just like, wow, this is something I really do believe in for myself, and it's something that I definitely want to try and get recognized out there in not only the racing community, but just everyone. It's a real issue, and it's something really cool that they're doing. I know that Kevin told me that they're even going to some schools now, some high schools and middle schools and stuff.
That's awesome.
And having these speeches and lectures and walkthroughs of everything, and it's something that's just super cool. And everything that you donate to them, goes so that they can go to more schools and get to these schools and spread the lecture some more. So if you go to Race Rudine, RaceRudineFoundation.org, there's a donate button there, and if you can, donate a few bucks. If you can't, just try to spread the word some more. And,
for sure.
That's what it's all about. So, no, definitely a great cause there.
For those who are wondering about Kevin Rudine and where do I know that name? Well, he's got an all-star team together. Corey Eliason picked up actually a win for him in September on the all-star circuit, and then Tristan Thomas ran for him at the Chili Bowl in the midget blue number 26 car. Rudine Racing is the actual team site, and then of course the foundation site is racerudine.org is the actual foundation site. So go check them out. I know that you can't do all this by yourself, so we got about 30 seconds. Talk about your sponsors, anybody who helps you with your racing.
No, absolutely. So obviously the Race Rudine Foundation is something I'm supporting this year. I got this year coming on board Northwest Welding and Fabrication. I got Gates, Champion Racing Oil, Triple X Race Chassis, Borden's Auto Parts, Highline Performance, Devo Transport, just to name a few there. I guess those are my biggest supporters and people who help me. Hikus Homes, Benoit Farms, those are my main and biggest supporters. Teen Racing Products, they help us out with a lot of the components on our cars. And like I said, Triple X, they help us out with the cars too as well. So those are my biggest sponsors and people who are helping me hit the road. So I can't thank all of them enough.
Where can fans follow you on social media, Devin?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to Facebook. It's just Devin Borden Racing, DEVON, Borden, BORDEN, and then Racing. Make sure you give me a like, a follow, and then if you got Instagram, Devin_Borden, and those are the two main ones I'm super active on. So make sure you go there and follow my journey and keep up to date with what we're doing. So I appreciate everything.
Well, thanks for being on, Devin. That was a lot of fun. Did a great job. And we're going to step aside. When we come back, we will have our final segment on what's been a very quick edition of the Lead Lap Radio Show presented by Victory Custom Trailers. Don't go anywhere.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff, or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Lewis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Lewis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right. It's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
He wanted to be known for doing his best.
Sure, right.
His best made him Major League Baseball's most valuable player.
Strike two.
He played in 6 World Series and was elected to the Hall of Fame. Although an honest man, he was best at stealing home. But the best quality of Jackie Robinson's life was his character. So here's to you, Mr. Robinson. Thanks for passing it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
When Marlon Shirley was 5 years old, he was in an accident and lost his foot, but he didn't lose his heart.
When you tackle a challenge that you just cannot even fathom tackling, when you accomplish that, the amount of integrity and the will and the heart that you'll get from that experience is what will set you up for your life.
In less time than it took Marlon Shirley to say that, he can now run 100 meters because today he's the world's fastest amputee. Overcome it. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
Hi, this is Chandler Smith, and you're listening to the Race Chaser Radio. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Lead Lap. This is our final lap, final segment already. Man, it's just been a very quick couple of hours here on Performance Motorsports Network and Race Chaser Radio. We obviously started with the Inside Pass at 7 o'clock Eastern, and then this show, Lead Lap. So it's a lot of fun to do this, two distinctly different shows, and so a lot of fun to do both of these each Monday night here, and we hope that you're enjoying it. Okay, gosh, James, we've got just a few minutes left in this show, and Devin Borden, first time, I think, on national radio, and I got to tell you, you don't get many young drivers like that who you just kind of, they're wind-up dolls. Basically just pull the string and they talk. He did a great job for his first interview. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, he came on there and he answered the questions above and beyond what you asked. I mean,
great story, too.
He sat there and told you everything you wanted to know about what he was doing during the season, how you could find him, everything. I mean, most of the time they get on there and they're just really shy and say a few words. I mean, he had no fear and he told you a great story, so he did a really good job.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, all right, let's get back. We can get to get your opinion on the Chili Bowl. Did you have a chance to watch it, and what did you think about?
Yeah, I watched the Chili Bowl. It was hit or miss. I thought the track was not quite what it has been in years past.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of have an idea what that contributed to.
They missed Tony.
Yeah. That guy there, Tony Stewart, that man can just, I don't know how he does it or what he has, but he can just see dirt. Like, he can speak with it. Like, literally, he can talk to the dirt and it can tell him what it wants and he can make it happen. And I know he said he was texting and trying to help him, but it wasn't the same. No. And I think, having Tony there and him working on the dirt is what makes that race a lot different, and I think that hurt.
Yeah, I agree. But I thought overall, it was a great week there. And again, I have to majorly applaud all of the folks who put that on because, with all the regulations and all of that, And really, I have to give credit to everybody that went there, too, because everybody cooperated.
You had to. I mean,
with the situation.
If you didn't work with it, then it wasn't going to work, and you weren't going to get to watch the race.
Yep.
And I think everybody did a phenomenal job, like you said.
Yep. So you got to balance the good with the bad. Okay, so we're now about 4 weeks out from Daytona, and I know that for the last good number of years, you've been involved with one team or another, one situation or another. Are you kind of just getting antsy, not being away from it and not being in the middle of this sort of preseason last down the stretch prep run?
Yeah, for sure. It gets into your blood and you love it. As much as it's a lot of work, you're just a racer and you love to do it. It's something that you enjoy doing. I mean, you walk in there and you just see the progress from breaking everything down, your scales and your toolbox down to pretty much nothing, and then watching it rebuild over the next week or so you're ready to go because you got that first car in there, you're getting it prepped, all your toolboxes are done, all your tools are new, nice, fresh, cleaned up, and you're ready to go put a show on because most of the time, every team that I've been a part of, I can say has went out there, feels like they have a shot to go win Daytona when they put that car together because they've prepped so much during the off season that when they go to Daytona, they say, hey, this can be our year.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. A little bit of, I'll call it breaking news just because it's just now coming out from Front Row Motorsports, who's been very busy the last couple of weeks in the newswire. Freight Auctions has increased their partnership with Front Row Motorsports. They are now going to be primary sponsors for 6 races on, I think, the 34 car of Michael McDowell. And the first race is going to be at the Daytona Road Course. So Front Row Motorsports continuing to pick up sponsors. They've got new driver Anthony Alfredo, who replaces John Hunter Nemechek, who went back to the Truck Series with Kyle Busch Motorsports. And now they've added more races for their sponsor, Freight Auctions. Front Row is a team I feel like that the sponsors really that are with them enjoy that relationship. Bob Jenkins, I don't think gets enough respect. I feel like the car owner that you just worked for, Bob Levine, and his group at Levine Family Racing, Bob was very well respected in the garage area, and I think Bob Jenkins is much like Bob Levine in that sense. The fans don't know a lot about him because, of course, Front Row is not a front-running team as of right now, but Bob Jenkins and his ownership of all of the Yum Brands restaurants and the other businesses that he has, he just does a great job, and this is really his golf game. It's his passion. He loves it, and I love seeing sponsors like Freight Auctions that get involved there and then just slowly increase because that's only going to be to the benefit of that team. And I think this could be a team that when we get to the reset next year, I think this could be a team that takes a leap because of that fact. Because as it is, I feel like they're getting closer to being consistent top 10 to 15. I don't think they're that far away from that status now.
No, and it helps. Bob having drivers like Kaz Gralla and Michael McDowell and all these other smaller teams like Corey LaJoy and Justin Haley and all these guys on those teams that appreciate that sponsorship they get as much as they do. That is another aspect of it. These drivers have to be willing to go that extra mile for these sponsors, and those drivers are, and that's something that these smaller teams are able to find is that driver that can do that. And McDowell, I've worked with him. He's went above and beyond with sponsors, and that's why people attract to him. And he's one of the nicest guys in the garage. So for McDowell to get a sponsor that's going to be on his car for more races, increasing, I'm really happy to see that for him because he's a great guy.
I am too. And Front Row is a fun team, good bunch of people. And, of course, the tie-in now with David Gilliland Racing started last year with the truck that Todd Gilliland piloted and will again for the 2021 season, and I feel like somehow that's going to eventually result with Todd being in a cup car for Front Row Racing at some point. We'll have to see how that develops, but that was a little bit of news that just came off the news wire, and I wanted to make mention of it because, again, we need the Front Row Motorsports to survive and to be able to at least be competitive in the middle of the field in order to, to encourage more of these car owners to get involved. We talked on the Inside Pass about Trackhouse Racing and, of course, Pitbull, the singer, not a dog, getting involved as a partner. And I just love this, James, for any number of reasons, all of them good. But I think the biggest thing that this does, first you have Michael Jordan, now you got Pitbull. You're developing, NASCAR now is starting to get the reputation again for being cool.
Yeah.
And that's something I think that, a lot of the aging fan base that are just old and bitter, frankly, just can't stop complaining about everything NASCAR does. And so I think it's great that we've kind of got this sort of culture shift going here, and you get some diversity into the sport and some new eyes on it. And I think this is going to be an interesting pairing because you've got Ty Norris over there who certainly knows what he's doing with managing teams, a lot of experience there, and Justin Marks, who's a very passionate and enthusiastic team owner and a successful racer as well, and Daniel Suarez. And I feel like the road courses benefit that team a little bit this year, James. And I think that, again, this could be a team that probably won't be a huge factor in the beginning of the season. But as the season goes on and we get to the back half of the year, I'm going to be interested to see how they develop. And again, I think going into 2022, and we get to the reset, it's game on because you don't know who's going to adapt to those cars first. They're very sports car oriented, this new car. And Suarez, again, coming from the background of the road racing, it could be that he's in good shape for 2022 for that team to kind of elevate itself.
Yeah, you're correct on that for sure. These smaller teams that are just getting formed up this year, if they come out really hitting here this year, that's only going to make 2022 that much better for them. So you got to look at Spire because they're just created their own organization this year. How are they going to come out in 2022?
Right.
Trackhouse, the 2311 team. These are the teams that could get really good footing this year and then really come out next year on a tear because they're well established and ready to go. So I'm excited for that. And then the Pitbull thing. I think it's great that the diversity is coming into NASCAR. You're bringing the Latinos in, and you also now got Michael Jordan in, and I think that is phenomenal for NASCAR to not allow, but to have that come into the sport and show that, hey, we're going to allow you to come in and allow you to be part of our family with open arms, and that is phenomenal to me.
For sure. One note, too, from over the weekend, David Gilliland Racing had a test at New Smyrna for Joey East out of California, who is going to run about 6 races in the ARCA Menards East Series. And Joey was actually unofficially faster than the pole time from last year's race by over a second.
Wow.
So for those of you who have not heard of Joey East, the spelling is I-E-S-T is how his last name is spelled. JoeyEastRacing.com. Go get to know him because they call him the Beast. The kid is a farmer during the day. His family owns a giant farm, and he and his brothers work all day on the farm, and they're not in school. And Joey is one of these kids you would never, ever see it coming. He's like a Jekyll and Hyde. He is the nicest, gentlest young person off the track. You put a helmet on him, and boy, that kid's got it. And to be about a second and a half faster than the pole speed from last year's race is a pretty big accomplishment. So I think Joey is going to be certainly one to open some eyes when it comes to his number of starts this year in the the ARCA Menards Series East. And he's also going to be running the SRL races out west with that touring series also. So just thought I would throw that in there. That was some pretty incredible news from down in Florida over the weekend. Okay, so that wraps it up for Lead Lap for tonight. I want to thank First of all, our primary sponsor, VictoryCustomTrailers.com. Go visit their website. If you need a new trailer or anything that you pull behind a vehicle for any purpose, go to Victory Custom Trailers and check out what they have. Remember, they'll build it for you. If they don't have it, they'll build it to your specifications. Also, thanks to the folks at mycomputercareer.edu, training for a better life. If you are looking for a first career, a change of career, mycomputercareer.edu may be your answer. And for James Mellick and all the folks from WSIC and the Performance Motorsports Network, I'm Tom Baker. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with Motorsports Madness. See ya.
You've been listening to Lead Lap Radio, powered by Victory Custom Trailers, the leaders in custom trailer sales and service. Design your own custom trailer at VictoryCustomTrailers.com. Lead Lap Radio is a Race Chaser Media production. For more exciting and passionate motorsport content, follow Race Chaser Media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and visit RaceChaserMedia.com. The opinions expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff, management, affiliates, or marketing partners of Race Chaser Media. No part of this show may be reproduced in any manner without the expressed written consent of Race Chaser Media. Thank you for listening.